Okay, so Matnam, November 2024, part 2. Let's continue looking at the photos I took last month using computational photography algorithms I developed, so my own apps. Let's start immediately with 2 pictures coming straight out of the sensor. I thought I might give you some examples like that once in a while. So that's what my iPhone took as pictures. That's using Kamar, and all my apps, most of my apps actually, you can go into settings and ask it to save the original photo. If you're scared about the treatment and want to have an archive of the original sensor photo. And that's 2 pictures, one taken at Idno in Reykjavik during a concert, and the other one in the suburbs of Reykjavik. And here I show you what the result were using 2 different virtual film stocks from Kamar. And you actually see that the framing is not exactly the same. But I thought it was interesting to show you how the treatment actually affects the original picture. And then you like it or you don't like it. But those 2 were actually, I thought, interesting to share. So here you have on the left and right the 2 QR codes if you want to use them in your own apps. And yeah, let's continue. When I was developing those contact sheets, digital contact sheets for those virtual film stocks, the idea dates a long time back, but I had some bugs. So what you're seeing here is, I like that picture. I think it's really an interesting per se stock of film. But yeah, the contact sheet you see on the right, one of the pictures, the cache didn't work. So I have this sort of question mark where the picture wasn't able to be decoded again. That's when I was coding. But you have those contact sheets with some information on it about the insaturator, the film relator, of course the QR code if you want to use the digital film stock. And here it was just a test with 1 picture on this contact sheet. But if you want to use it, yeah, please do it. I thought this one was pretty nice. Again, those film stocks, the results, sometimes here I'm not going to provide the QR codes for a few pictures coming up, but just to tell you that don't hesitate to edit them. For example, the picture on the right, I really recontrasted afterwards, like I would do with a scanned film. That's part also of the process, finding the feeling of the old film process through smartphone photography. Or on the left, using the border, you will give some physicality to an otherwise very digital kind of texture. Basically here, the process is the points, the patterns are very digital-like, and then the filmulation adds a simulation of a CCD sensor from Kodak from the early 2000s. Adding the border will make it more physical. Here again, one of the teases when I was developing those apps and the ideas of those filters in 2006 was that when the granularity is small enough, the differentiation between an analog process and a digital process would be really hard to obtain, apart from some characteristics, but the sensuality would be basically the same. And that's a picture at 12 toner of a DJ set. I thought it was interesting, this combination of creative filters. Or here again, that's actually the film roll. I was testing a film roll with Vika in the early moments where the contact sheet kind of worked. I think it really looks analog. It's not. And the algorithms which I developed, they're definitely not analog. There's a finalization, a small end layer that will add something that's more analog and physical, but otherwise no. But I think it feels like it. And here's 3 pictures of this cat. I thought the black and white, that's Bewi as an insaturator for the 3 of them, but just adding this filmulator layer will really add some physicality and analogness to your pictures. And here are the 3 QR codes if you want to have fun with those virtual film stocks. Again, you just look at them you take a picture, or you just point your camera, your iPhone towards them, and they will direct you to the correct app if necessary. You can import the stock into one of the compatible apps. On the left, that's again the same cat, a small, cute kitty cat, but with a color algorithm. And those two pictures, middle and right, that's edited in the experimental editor of Kamar. The first one on the left is taken with Kamar, and then I changed the process in the editor on the one on the right. And for those who saw the serial video, this shopping shopping center had this sort of poster which I liked graphically, and I took a picture of it with Pentax QS1, I believe, and it got ripped. And just after, I thought this picture was interesting, and happened that the random process that came out I felt was interesting, and so here are the 3 QR codes if you want to use them for your own practice. Still with Kamar, I'm always testing with Kamar. Kamar is a really more versatile, editable process app of my 4 apps. Here are those buildings are in the center of Reykjavik, just on front of the bay. And the fog was kind of high, but still at the top of the building, so it gave it a really eerie look. And those 2 processes are quite different, and I really liked them. So I felt those 2 photos worked pretty well. So I'm going to give you the QR code after. Same thing for that kitchen. I thought the looks were interesting. So here comes the QR codes if you want to use them. I'm going to focus more and more into those contact sheets, like here. That's one of the early contact sheets. In some cases, it's really part of my idea and what I wanted to get to. This virtual film stock is kind of not very contrasty, so don't hesitate to edit afterwards like you would with a film scan or with a photo that you take with a normal camera. And those 2 pictures, middle and left, they're actually edited afterwards, which will reveal some of the artifacts of the processes underneath treating the image. For example, those columns, that's Cainswoe. That's a way of constructing the image, and I think it works pretty well. But that was my goal. It's not taking pictures your usual way. But here 2 pictures of that contact sheet of that film roll, non-edited. As you can see, the contrast is not that strong, so you should probably do some small editing afterwards to get really into what you want. It's a little bit like, a log file on a video, when you might want to process a little bit afterwards, or you can use it like this if you like it. But again, 2 pictures from that roll, kind of not very contrasty. This film roll is like it is, but I think it's interesting. And yeah, if you want to test and have fun with it, here's the QR code again. That was a pretty short contact sheet because I was really testing. As you can see, you don't even have the indications on the borders of the shots. Another contact sheet test, 4 images only, but I thought this combination of Komop and KD Adav 200 was interesting, using the flash for those 2 pictures. So you have this sort of very grainy, kind of warm finition, but at the same time you have those sort of distorted middle parts of the picture with this kind of image ghosting, but which works pretty well in my opinion. This mix with the variators that are included in the QR code work pretty well. Here again, 2 example, 2 pictures. So if you want to experiment with it, here's the QR code again, and hopefully you'll take some really good shots with it. Here are 2 pictures. I probably didn't finish the film yet, the film roll, so I didn't have the QR codes in my bunch of pictures for the month, but I liked the rendering that's at the movies. At the Bioparadis, a really nice kind of alternative movie theater in Reykjavik. Really enjoyable, great movies. And I liked the rendering, so I just wanted to share those 2 pictures. Again, we talked about this concert of Gus Gus at Harpa. 2 pictures, that's through Kamar. The picture on the left, that was the original shot. The picture in the middle, that's edited through the experimental editor. I really like the rendering of that scene with Biggie Vera behind his synthesizers and that public with this plunging point of view on the scene. I thought it gave a really good idea of the size of the place and the power of that concert. Really great sound. And on the right, that's party goers on the same night, not going to a concert, or actually maybe going to a second set, But yeah, with another treatment, I think for street photography, it's also pretty fun to have that treatment directly embedded into your captures. And here are the 3 QR codes if you want to have fun with those film stocks. Here, another kind of treatment with another film stock, which I thought was interesting. The rendering, I really like it in low light. I do a lot of low light photography these days, but maybe because I'm a lot in the north also and we don't have much daylight, but still, I like that square rendering. That's Vika. Again, here, 2 pictures. Using Regerts in very high lights will kind of reverse solarize. And as you can see on the lights, the urban lights, it kind of goes dark. It's the same with the sun. When the sun's very bright, it will go dark. So it gives a really interesting feel to your pictures. And yeah, here's the contact sheet. I did a few contact sheets. So one of the photos was not on that contact sheet, but it's the same film stock. And if you scan the QR code, you will be able to use it in the apps. And 2 last pictures for this part 2. I don't have the contact sheets yet. I didn't finish my films, but I thought they were both really interesting in terms of rendering. For street photography, I think, I liked them. So I just wanted to share them and finish this part 2 for this month on those 2. Hopefully you'll find some interesting film stocks in those series this month, and you'll be able to take pictures. You'll be stimulated to go and take a shoot. If you have questions, comments, suggestions, as usual, don't hesitate. And yeah, catch you next time.